You gotta try new things in life.
No, you don't.
Anal.
Okay, maybe you do.
Have you tried anal? Like,
Receiving or giving? Because yes.
for both? Have you been fucked in the ass?
No.
Never? What about fingered?
Doctor fingered me once.
You never got a little sexy in the bed or
Weird thing is, it was a dentist.
dentist fingered you? Was it a finger? How big did the finger feel?
Felt huge.
So it was a thumb or a toe or a penis. Was it a male?
No, it was a female.
Iconoblast. We put the past on blast. Hit 'em with the truth, with things you never knew. Nobody is safe, no thing to place. Got Joel and Coop with history in your face. Iconoblast.
Presented by ghostbed.com.
So you never got a finger in the butt when you were in sexy time? Like some girls are a little frisky and they'll just like start grabbing your ass and then they'll just start fingering towards it.
I kneed a girl in the face on accident once because she tried.
Really? Wait, for real?
It's a long story.
During a sexual encounter, you need a woman in the face because she fingered your butthole? Tried to finger.
It was an attempt, and the attempt failed.
How far did she get it in?
Oh, not very far.
Just breached the surface?
No,
Fingernail?
didn't even breach the surface. She got in the
Touch the butthole.
Well,
Touch that little balloon knot that sticks out of the butthole.
She got into the general area with an amount of confidence that didn't make me comfortable.
What does that mean?
That means she was moving with a purpose.
You knew exactly what she was doing.
I knew what that purpose was.
So did you squeeze your cheeks together?
Well, yeah, involuntarily.
And then, I could see how that would happen because you
no,
squeezed.
it wasn't like I
jumped up like with your knees.
Yeah, it wasn't like I was.
You didn't grab her by the back of the head and go for a fucking knee, like an MMA knee.
No, not the first time. Afterwards, when I realized so the first part was involuntary. The second
knee was on purpose.
It was to prove a point.
Okay.
So speaking of anal play, we're going to be talking about UFOs today, but before we get into that...
Great transition.
Before we get into that, I'll just do the intro. Welcome to the Iconoblast podcast. This is the show that takes a look behind the public facades of famous icons to show you why you can never take anything at face value. Yeah. My name is Cooper, and across from me, as always, is my anally adventurous partner, Joel Ray Benner.
You said my middle name.
Do I usually not?
You say R. Benner. I prefer just Joel Benner. But
okay, Joel Benner.
But Joel Ray Benner's kind of cute.
Joel Ray.
My mom would call me Joel Ray.
When you were in trouble, or just any time?
No, when I was being a good boy, I was Joel Ray. When I was kind of being bad, it was Joel.
Then when you were being real bad, it was like, you motherfucker.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, she used the F word that you're not allowed to use anymore.
Oh. Frankincense?
You little frankincense.
How dare she?
Get over here, and with a kick or a punch.
It's a way to engender trust with somebody is anytime they get near you, you kick them or punch them.
Yeah.
So then they always know what to expect.
I loved her.
That's what I'm doing with my new cat.
Yeah, you got a new cat.
I got a new cat.
You dumb bastard.
Yeah. Yeah, 2 nights without sleep so far. What's wrong with you, dude?
You're almost 40. You're almost 40 and I'm getting a kitten.
I'm almost 40. I'm unmarried. Of course I'm getting cats. I'm going to start collecting them like merit badges in the Boy Scout.
You're going to become a cat lady. We were talking about this in the car on the way where we bought that
unnamed
whiskey.
Yeah. I got a recommendation for a different type of cinnamon whiskey, and when we went to the liquor store, they didn't have it available, so I just went with the Old Faithful.
You're turning into a cat lady. This is after the last couple of days, you got the cat, you're alone, you don't want to leave the house.
I mean, that's always been the case.
Well, I know. But because you're a man, and you're pretty tough, and I have a lot of respect for you, I didn't have this realization for the last 20 years. But I think you're a cat lady.
I don't think I'm a cat lady because...
No cat lady does.
Well, I fucking hate this cat.
If we're doing shout-outs, I forgot to bring this on the last episode. This is the fan art. Our first
piece of fan art.
Yeah, first fan art. Can you see it?
To be able to see that on camera. Another reason to tune into the Drinkin' Bros History YouTube channel, so you can see our very first piece of fan art.
It's a fan art from the Yasuke episode, and it's a little old Asian woman scrubbing giant black testicles with a broom.
Well, I don't think that there's necessarily, you can't really tell. Well, I mean, the little lady you can definitely tell race, but the balls are.
We know they're Yasuke's balls.
They're Yasuke's balls,
and
for sure.
He was African.
Yes, he was, and he had giant
So they were probably
balls.
black. Maybe they weren't, but they probably were.
Yeah, I mean, chances are, yeah.
Didn't they try to scrub his skin off because
Yeah.
they thought it was ink? Yeah.
Yeah.
He was probably black. But our first fan art, I'm going to put it on the wall where it will stay forever.
Oh, wow, I'm surprised it. Yeah, we need to get that framed.
We
Make it
should
proper.
frame it. It's the first one. And we should frame,
Oh, we got to
our
frame.
letter, yeah.
We got to frame Gigi's letter.
yeah. That was our first.
Which, Gigi, I know you can't see it on camera, but ever since you sent us our very, very first fan mail, and we have had a printout of
Yep,
it
it's
here
on the
in the
wall.
studio ever since.
We don't have our wide shot today,
Yeah,
but it's right there on the wall. And before it was right over here on the wall, which, you
but
probably saw it.
it's been hanging in the studio ever since we got it.
Yep, and it'll stay hanging in the studio forever, even after the place burns down.
So Mark recommended that I drink more unnamed cinnamon whiskey because he enjoyed my drunken rants. And if any episode is going to get me on some fucking rants, it's going to be this one, because we're going to be talking about UFOs today
Sweet.
and why I believe in aliens, but chances are they've never fucking been to Earth. And I've got evidence to back it up.
Okay.
I mean, technically, I kind of have evidence to back it up. But before
You
then,
have your evidence.
yes,
It's kind of that,
which is
right?
facts. That's what I like to use
Facts,
as evidence,
yeah.
is facts. Not quote unquote. I'm talking about actual facts.
Right, but it's also kind of that that human syndrome where if you want to believe something's not true or true, you will only find the proof that proves your point instead of finding all the sides of everything.
Shit. I was just talking to the in-house editor that we have here. I was just talking to him about that right before we started recording the episode. And yeah, most likely that is the case. Because
Yeah.
well,
Well, I
no,
can
the
already
thing is,
tell by the tone in your voice.
No, I do want to believe in aliens. I do believe in aliens. I have a hard time being convinced that they have been here. And
But a UFO is not an alien.
No. A UFO is an unidentified flying object. A UFO could be a balloon, and there's at least one of them that
can't
we're going to
tell
talk
what it
about
is, it's
today.
unidentifiable.
Yeah. So I mean, a UFO is just it's just a term for something where it's like, oh, I saw something that was flying in the sky, and I could not identify the object, so therefore it's an unidentified flying object.
I have identified an unidentifiable flying object.
That's for people who are wondering what Joel's referring to, that's a quote from a game that Joel and I were working on right when we got the offer for the podcast.
So we stopped working on it.
Yeah, it's most likely going to be perpetually unfinished unless we...
It's going to sit on a drive until the podcast makes us enough money to pay someone else to make it for us.
True.
Yeah.
I would like to get back into programming, though.
You could do a little this and that,
so-
and then you have a guy that does it for you.
It's just like the process of programming just really works with my brain because, I mean, it is creative, but at the same
Does it make you
time,
hard?
it's oh, God, yeah.
Does it actually, though?
No.
No.
No, I mean, nothing does. I mean, aside from a certain
Porn?
pill. I'm getting old, dude.
What gets you hard?
Roman?
Roman people? Like
No,
Caesar?
no, the actual pills.
Oh,
No.
the pills. You have to take pills?
No, I mean, pills
You're
don't
at
even
that
work
point?
for me anymore.
Okay.
UFOs do, for the most part.
Actually, though?
No. No, I mean, women,
But do they?
yeah.
When?
I mean, when they
When they do a
work,
little dance or
you know,
something?
do a little
Takes a little move?
little dance.
Movement?
No, I don't know. I mean, I everything works fine.
Do you? It does?
Yeah.
Okay. I can't tell anymore. You're always back there in your little room just working. And
Well, that's because you're in a relationship now.
I'm worried about you, Coop.
You never pay attention to me anymore.
I'm sorry.
I know. It's okay, though. Before we get into the topic, last week I gave shout-outs to a handful of our listeners, which I was just trying to remember names off the top of my head. I didn't have a list to go from. But I left somebody very important out. And actually, I dare say I left Well, I most likely left a lot of important people out. But I have anybody who's ever actually met me will eventually learn that I'm really bad with names. I don't know why. It might have something to do with the traumatic brain injury that I got when I was 11 years old, but I'm terrible with names.
I know why. You don't like meeting people, and you don't like people in general. So when you first meet someone, you're in an internal battle of trying to just stand there, pay attention, be in the zone, and try to be a good person. You're not listening to what they're saying. So they say their name, and you're like, yeah, my name's Coop. It's just like this, almost like pillow talk. But for you, it's stressful.
Inside, I'm screaming, get me the fuck out of here.
Yeah, and then you make it through, you calm down, you get to know them, you're comfortable with them by the end of the night, but you don't remember their name because when you introduce yourselves, that's the
and then I'm afraid to ask the name again.
Yeah, and then so you don't know their name.
That's one of the most insightful fucking things I've ever heard you say. That is so on the nose, I can't believe it. I mean, that's
some things.
Yeah, that's pretty much exactly the case. I'm
an introvert as well.
Anybody who hasn't spent a lot of time around, well, even people that have spent a lot of time around me, at some point they probably learn that I don't really care for interacting with other people. I prefer to be by myself for the most part. Because I just really enjoy my own company. I'm such a gem.
He talks to himself when he's alone. He's turned on by his own voice.
You can hear that?
Mm-hmm. Your voice is deep. You can't hear the words, but it vibrates the walls.
Oh, I thought I was whispering quiet enough that nobody else could hear it.
When you whisper in my ear, it tickles my ear because the mustache. The mustache touches the earlobe.
But speaking of shout-outs, the two people that I know for a fact I forgot to give shout-outs to, and I'm going to do so now, is Womb Raider. I'm sorry for forgetting you last week, and you are one of our most loyal listeners, and we enjoy having you show up every single week in the YouTube premieres, and hopefully you're around to hear this apology. I'm very, very terribly sorry. Also, Bill Schofield.
Oh, Bill.
Yeah.
We didn't mention Bill?
Yeah, I can't believe that I didn't mention Bill, because Bill's been giving us shout-outs on Instagram like since our very first fucking episode.
Yeah, he met us before we started, I think.
Yeah.
Right? He was in the studio.
Yeah, he was here in studio before we even started recording new episodes of the show when we first got out here to Austin, and we spent a few days hanging out with him. He's a super fucking nice guy. Mm-hmm. So yeah, Bill, Womb Raider, cheers to you. I'm sorry that I didn't give you guys shout-outs last week. Anybody else who's watching right now?
Brandon?
Charlie, Rosie, Brandon. I think we shouted out Brandon last week.
I don't know. LJ.
There's
Clayton Ledoux.
The
silent listener. Never left a single message in the chat.
Yeah, and Adam's always getting on everybody's case about hitting that like button, which, by the way, if you're watching this on YouTube, hit that like button.
Hammer the like button.
Adam, that was for you.
Adam, you tell him.
We're just trying to help you out. Well, and he's trying to help us out.
So what specific UFO shit are we talking about?
We are going to be talking about... So you heard about the recent disclosure from the Pentagon talking about UFOs, that they were going to release all the information that they had on UFOs, which oddly enough was part of the COVID stimulus package. That was actually... It was written into the bill. Like they do that a lot in government, where when they have a bill that they're trying to pass...
They'll put a bunch of little things in it.
There's so many fucking pages that pretty much nobody is going to go through and read every single page. Like
so they get away with
actually voting on it.
Things.
And it's understandable because, first of all, politicians are fucking shitbags and they're just there to collect a paycheck. I can understand that. I've done that before. I'm not being a politician, but just trying to collect a paycheck. Not in a job that important. But also, if you have a bill that's like fucking 900 pages long, you don't really have the time to read a fucking Robert Jordan novel every time you have to vote on something. Mm-hmm. So people will sneak little lines in there where it's like, oh, okay, so we're going to give people money to help with this, and we're going to make this illegal. Oh, and by the way, we need to release every piece of information that we have on UFOs. Which, whoever did that,
it's a G, dude.
That's fucking awesome. They snuck
if they don't want
into a fucking stimulus bill. Well, they already released.
Well, I mean,
most
even
of it.
though it says
it says they released most of it, but honestly, I think that they most likely released all of it, and we'll get into it in this episode. Why I believe that they probably
But
released.
if they did
all
have
of the,
something, they wouldn't release it, even if it was in a stimulus bill.
I think that
They would say we released it all.
Okay, so if it was something that did somehow jeopardize national
Haven't you
security,
seen Independence Day? They didn't tell anyone.
until it was too goddamn late.
Yeah,
And
until they needed that.
I
drunk
fucking
guy.
hope that the people that are in charge of our country have seen Independence Day and know that you need to disclose this information before it's too fucking late.
Actually, though, the movie proves they didn't have to tell anyone anything because they still won.
Well, yeah, it didn't matter. It didn't stop the aliens from showing up. I mean, maybe it would have saved some lives because, well, no, it probably would have, honestly, it would have cost more lives because then there would be a panic and shit. I understand why the government is hiding so much UFO information from us, but I actually don't think the government's hiding information on UFOs from us. If they're hiding anything, like, so just a little precursor to what we're about to get into. The videos that were released by the Pentagon were filmed between 2004 and 2015, and it wasn't until 2017 that they became public. Mm-hmm. And people are saying that is an example of like, oh, the government's trying to hide this information from us. Why didn't they just release these right away? Well, the reason they didn't release those right away is because it's not because of what was in the videos. It wasn't because they filmed UFOs. It was because the information that you can gather from the video itself, the location, the information that's displayed on the screen, because these were filmed by like F-18s, I think. Most of them were filmed by F-18s. Mm-hmm. Just the information that's displayed on the screen can give other countries very valuable information on
of course.
The location that it was filmed at, so that shows where we're operating. And also,
because they don't have satellites and they don't know where we're operating.
No, not at all times. There's no country in the world that is.
How many satellites are
omnipresent.
in outer space?
Thousands.
Okay.
There's actually, I don't remember the name of it. There's an app that you can get that shows you all of the position of all of the known satellites. I mean, I'm sure there's got to be some black ops satellites up there that aren't being tracked.
Can you use balloons to get a satellite into space?
No. Because balloons are, to get something into space, you need
up
to
to
actually,
a certain height and then a little propulsion?
You could, but it's not going to put it in. You can get it into space. It's not going to put it into orbit.
So the balloons will get you into space?
The balloons won't get you into. The balloons will get you up to the position
that matches
in the
the
atmosphere
pressure of the
where,
balloons.
like, they reach their maximum buoyancy.
Well, it depends on what you put in the balloon, right?
But I mean, if you just release a balloon, so if
pops
you
at some point, right?
I mean, well, it's not always gonna. If it goes all the way up to the point that its internal pressure exceeds its external pressure, and then that internal pressure exceeds the elasticity of the material of the balloon itself, then yeah, it'll pop.
Or it'll just sit there until it leaks enough and then floats back down.
Yeah. I mean, so
you could get pretty high.
Most likely to happen. You can get really, really high. You can get up into the stratosphere with a balloon, I think.
So you could use balloons to get satellites into the stratosphere and then have a little bit of propulsion and save gas money. Boom. Genius. Joel Benner.
You dead named yourself again.
It's because I invented the first fucking
Those fucking
satellite
mafiosos
balloon.
are going to track you down, and then there's going to be a bunch of guys with guns busting into our apartment shooting my fucking cat. Are you happy now?
Cat's an assassin.
Oh yeah, by the way, well, we already talked about it. I'm getting my dogs back.
Yeah.
They sleep through the night though.
It's going to be a madhouse in that place.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is, but it's
You
going
need to find a farm to live on.
It's going to make me... Oh, we were talking about that earlier when we were on our way to the liquor store to pick up this unnamed cinnamon whiskey, and I think you got something too.
I got some El Jimador tequila, but it's not on set. That's for home.
But yeah, we were talking about that
on
the way to the liquor store. That, I mean, my dream situation is I want to be living on a big piece of land out in the country with nobody within earshot. Because it's embarrassing.
Alone?
Well, it's embarrassing when I have my night terrors. I don't like people hearing me scream in my sleep.
Alone? No family?
Well, I like to have contact with family, like over the phone, through text message, and then
What about a wife?
well, I mean, how much time does she need to spend with me? It's an important question. No, I mean, living out in the countryside with a bunch of land and then having like a handful of dogs.
So would you get like a
bunch of guns. That sounds like heaven to me.
And maybe a prostitute you could call? But it'd be like a friend more, like a friend. Like have you seen...
Friends with Benefits?
That's hard to get the older you get, but something like I just watched this movie. It's a Bill Murray movie.
Groundhog Day.
St. Vincent.
I haven't. St. Vincent.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
still
right.
Doesn't sound familiar.
Dude, Naomi Watts is in it. She's the fucking... She is who I imagine you ending up with. Naomi Watts.
I could imagine ending up with Naomi Watts.
Yeah, she's a Russian hooker. In the movie. And
well, I know she's not in real life, but I wouldn't
imagine
exactly
you
picture
ending
myself ending up with a Russian hooker.
well, when you watch this movie, you'll understand why it makes sense because it seems like this is something that he's been doing for 20 years. Like their relationship is like they're friends. Like he goes and picks her up and she's like, you fucking pussy. And he's like, fuck you, get in the car. And she stays the night and stuff and eats his food and they're almost in a relationship, but he has to pay her to be in it. And then she leaves in the morning and that's going to be you.
Yeah, most likely. I project. Well, I mean, not being in a relationship with a former hooker, but I do project.
No, I think that is going to be the case because you're going to be alone, and then you're going to pay for sex. But the girl that you pay for is going to like you.
I can't see myself ever paying for it though.
It's so much easier if you pay
like
for
I don't.
it, dude.
Well, yeah, it's easier. I don't have
No
any
baggage.
I don't have any
no
issue
phone
with
calls, no
people
talking, no extra attention that you need to give.
that does sound nice.
Yeah, that's why he did it. And then what's funny is. By the end of the film, she moves in with him, but doesn't ask. He has a stroke or something, so he needs like actual help with day-to-day stuff. And she's like, I would help you, but you pay me. Same. I live upstairs, you sleep down here. No more sex, but I'll take care of you.
So at the end of the movie, he's still paying her?
Yeah.
But without the
awesome.
sex.
Yeah.
So she transitioned from being a prostitute to being
like
a
maid.
nurse.
Yeah, a nurse. But you could tell, like, she looks at him like they're still going to probably, she's playing hard to get. He can get it.
I can't picture a
no
hooker.
more paying for sex.
I can't picture a hooker playing hard to get, though. It's more
You have
like...
to watch the movie. It's fucking awesome.
Okay, yeah. I guess
It's a badass transition.
Well, I never watch movies anymore.
This one you should watch. Watch it. It's called St. Vincent. And you can tell me on the next episode if that's who you will become.
I definitely see myself being a lonely old man. A lonely, curmudgeonly old man.
And I will show up at your house whenever I want and fuck with you.
And I'll act like I'm so pissed off about it, but at first I won't be, but then eventually I will be.
I won't stay long.
So, I am going to be doing my best to dispel some of the myths around not just current UFO sightings, but pretty much all UFO sightings. Because while I do believe in aliens, I really, 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 really doubt that they've ever been to Earth.
Okay.
So anyway, I'm gonna jump right into it.
You don't believe in the whole like theory like that God and all that shit was an alien?
What, ancient aliens?
Yeah.
Like that whole theory that like
what they thought was a god and stuff was just like an alien landing and leaving?
I mean, there's some interpretations of like the Mahabharata and
What about
well,
Stargate?
specifically like
you don't believe in Stargate theory?
Well, I mean,
Is that a thing?
I believe that Stargate is
Cool movie.
a fucking amazing movie. Probably one of Kurt Russell's best movies outside of I'd say
Escape from L.A.
Yeah, I was gonna say it goes Escape from L.A., Big Trouble in Little China,
Death Proof.
The rest
Hateful
of them
Eight.
I just kind of all
Hateful
lumped
Eight?
together.
Death Proof.
Well, I mean, Overboard is just as good as those.
Escape from New York.
Okay, so it goes Escape
there's
from
a lot of
L.A.,
Captain Ron.
Big Trouble in Little China. Oh, yeah, shit. Okay,
So
so
it goes
it
Captain
goes
Ron.
Captain Ron, Escape from L.A., Big Trouble in Little China, Escape from New York, and then everything else is on the same scale. Everything else is equal.
Death Proof is so fucking good.
Yeah, Death Proof's good. It just it drags on so goddamn long. I feel like it doesn't.
It's like an hour 20 minutes.
It feels so much longer though.
You must have been had a bad day. It's like his shortest film. Did you like Escape, or I was going to say Escape from Hollywood?
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood? Yeah, I liked Once Upon a Time.
It's 3 hours. You had a bad day.
No, because every time that I've watched Death Proof, I feel like it just goes on for too long.
Interesting.
I mean, I don't think it's a bad movie. I think it's
I love
cool,
that car crash, dude.
All of the car crashes and shit.
On Joe Rogan, he was just on Joe Rogan like yesterday.
Kurt Russell was?
No, Quentin Tarantino was.
Oh, that's right.
He talked about that scene specifically, the car crash, how he did it too. It's all real, no CGI, all practical effects. They did multiple car crashes and everything. They did one crash for that shot where the two girls hit, boom, and they did another shot with two of the fancy cars, same ones. So, because you know how it crashes and then it goes up and like rips the hood off and rips the chick's face off and stuff.
How much of that episode, the Joe Rogan episode, was dedicated to Quentin Tarantino trying to convince Rogan to take his shoes off and put his feet up on the table?
Never did. Surprisingly, they never talked about feet.
He's getting old.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, UFOs. So like I was saying, I believe in UFOs. I don't. UFOs obviously exist. I believe in aliens. I don't think aliens have ever been to Earth.
No?
No. And
but do you think an alien ever slept on a...
Do I think that an alien ever slept on a ghost bed?
Yeah.
Well, ghost bed is highly advanced technology, so I have a feeling that ghost beds came from aliens. And speaking of which, the Iconoblast podcast is brought to you by ghostbed.com/Drinkin' Bros. Ghostbed has been a loyal sponsor of the Drinkin' Bros for 5 years now, and everyone here in the studio absolutely loves them, including us and Jack Mandeville.
Of course.
Ghostbed makes high-quality mattresses right here in the good old USA, and each mattress comes with a 20-year warranty. You can try Ghostbed mattress for 101 nights, and if you're not completely satisfied, you can return it, no questions asked.
Nice.
Their mattresses and pillows have a cooling technology to keep you cool on those hot and sweaty nights, and Ghostbed also offers an adjustable base that's best in class and costs less than the competition. The adjustable base has 15 massage modes, 0 gravity, and tons of other great features. You can buy a mattress for about $35 a month, and they have a no money down, 0% APR financing.
0 gravity.
0 G.
That's like the time that was in Mars.
I think that Ghostbed do come from aliens. It's advanced. That's what the ancient aliens left behind. They built the pyramids.
And they built a ghost bed.
And then built a ghost bed.
Inside the pyramid.
We're recreating that technology.
Sick, dude. That's tight.
Right now, Ghostbed is offering a flash sale where you can get 40% off when you buy a mattress and adjustable base, or 30% off of everything when you use the promo code Drinkin' Bros. Head over to ghostbed.com/Drinkin' Bros to take advantage of all their awesome deals. That is ghostbed.com/Drinkin' Bros.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Ghostbed. Sleep so good, it's scary. So, ancient aliens, no, I have a hard time believing in ancient aliens, and that's something that eventually we're going to get into later in the episode.
Ancient aliens?
Well, no, I'm going to get into why I don't believe in ancient aliens, or I don't believe that aliens have ever been to Earth. But I have reasons for believing that. So, all right, it's been long enough. I gotta jump into the content now. Recently, a number of videos have been released by the U.S. government showing what appears to be aircraft using some unknown form of propulsion. The military has publicly stated that the footage is real, and they have not been able to identify the flying objects. By definition, these are unidentified flying objects, or UFOs.
It's the Russians, right?
Nope. People are quick to conclude that this is evidence that aliens from another planet are making the long trip out to our little corner of the galaxy to see what we're up to. As I will explain in this episode, this is almost certainly complete bullshit. Nice hair.
Thank you.
While the footage is real and the objects are indeed unidentified, the reality is more than likely mundane. Similar to what I was saying about ghosts.
Crushing dreams.
Yep. Well, speaking of crushing dreams, we'll get to that. While it is exciting to believe that we are being visited by aliens, applying Occam's razor to the arguments leaves you with the conclusion that the objects in the videos are the result of digital artifacts, man-made objects, and optical illusions.
What's Occam's razor?
Occam's razor, pretty much it boils down to the simplest explanation is the explanation. There are 3 videos currently in circulation that have garnered a lot of attention. They are called Gimbal, Go Fast, and Flir. We will go over these videos one by one, and I will once again ruin the magic and mystery so everyone can be as miserable as I am.
Loch Ness Monster.
Fake.
Archimedes' razor. What's it called? Arkham Asylum?
Occam's razor.
Occam's razor is not the case with the Loch Ness Monster. That was like a fucking submarine and clay and like some dude that was upset about something else, and that was not an Occam razor.
No, that
it's
still
not
fits the bill. So what is more likely that
the most likely thing was it was like a dog or like a reflection or a splash of water.
The first picture was a dog. The first picture of the Loch Ness Monster was a dog.
Second one wasn't Archimedes' razor though. It was
Occam's razor.
Yeah, Occam's razor.
Is different. No, the reason that still fits with the whole idea of Occam's razor is what is more likely, that it was something that we are familiar with and deal with on a regular basis, which is people being deceptive and shitty, people lying, or is it actually some ancient plesiosaur that has been living in Loch Ness for millions of years?
Okay, you're right.
Occam's razor.
You're right on that one.
The simplest explanation is most likely the truth.
I'm not happy about it.
I'm not either. I want this shit to be true, but it's not. And
aliens are real.
I don't want anybody else believing in this magic that I can't believe in. Aliens, I do wholeheartedly believe in aliens. I am 100% convinced that aliens exist. And I'm not talking about like the classic definition of, little green men and flying saucers. I'm saying that out there in the universe somewhere, to some degree, there is life besides us. Because if it could occur on our planet, then considering how vast the universe is, there could be single-celled organisms living on... there could be single-celled organisms living on another planet or moon in our solar system that we haven't discovered yet. The fact that I don't remember the name of, or I don't remember the term for
it doesn't have to be
whole
a cell.
idea.
It could be a whole different form of life that we don't understand yet.
Well, yeah, that's one of the reasons that I got into writing this episode is I was planning on doing an episode just about viruses, and I realized that viruses are kind of on the edge of what we consider to be life, and that it creates a debate over what life actually is. So there could be silicone-based life forms that are essentially rocks, but they have some of the traits that we currently define as life. Because, you can, depending on the way that you define it, a candle flame could be considered life.
True.
It can reproduce.
Fire's alive.
It moves. It consumes something to sustain itself. So, yeah, there's we don't really know. We don't have a clear definition of what life is.
So wouldn't that make a car alive?
Cars can't really reproduce on their own.
But a lot of things can't.
Not living things.
Well, like babies can't live on their own. They need us.
Well, no,
like
I'm saying that.
But a car also eats and drinks and.
That is an argument to life
Sentient
being pretty undefined, but cars can't reproduce without something else from the outside creating it. But
it's kind of the same. Like a factory is kind of like a mom.
And well, then the factory would be. But the factory.
What's the thing about
the factory isn't giving birth to little factories that grow up to be big factories.
No, their reproductive system is different than ours.
There would be a different definition to that than
we are the reproductive system.
We are the reproductive system of
the machines.
Machines.
Yeah.
I remember listening to a Joe Rogan episode about that, which is interesting. It kind of implies some things that I'm not entirely sure about yet. But I also
just like the idea
I'm pretty
of like a
convinced
Terminator
that we're living in a simulation.
Imagine a Terminator exoskeleton, without the living tissue. But when you look down at the internal organs, it's like real human testicles with human life on it.
With human life on the testicles?
Yeah.
So they're testicles, but they're little miniature planets?
Yeah.
With humans living on the surface?
Doing all the work, doing all the reproductive shit.
I mean, that's pretty much what Earth is.
Exactly, dude.
That's all we're doing.
We might just be one testicle on a Cyberdyne Systems Model 101.
So there's, 9 testicles in our solar system?
Sure.
So getting back around to the topic, we were talking about the Gimbal, Go Fast, and Flir videos.
Okay, I don't know anything about any of this.
The Gimbal video was filmed in 2015 by a Navy fighter jet from the USS Theodore Roosevelt off the coast of Florida.
Okay, I have seen this one.
It shows. I'm sure you have. It's been all over.
Yeah, that's
all three of the videos
one of the
have
most
been,
famous ones, right?
Well, no, all three of them. All three of them look. So the Go Fast video is the only one that looks a little bit different. Gimbal and Flir, they look like pretty much the exact same fucking thing.
Okay.
It shows an object seemingly hovering in the air and rotating in strange ways. An interesting part of the video is the strange pocket of cold air around the UFO, which seems to defy the laws of thermodynamics. Because if it was following the laws of thermodynamics, since it was generating some sort of energy, it should be
hot at the core and then fading away.
It should be the air around it should be hot also. But in the video, it looks like it's inside a cold pocket of air, which doesn't make sense in terms of thermodynamics. It does make sense when you frame it in a slightly different way, which honestly makes a lot of sense. The shape of the object, as well as the strange rotation, can be explained by the camera being used. It was a gimbal-mounted, advanced targeting forward-looking infrared, or AT-FLIR camera system. Many other videos captured by this type of camera produce similar effects due to the software used to stabilize the image, as well as artifacts from the hardware itself.
Have you seen these other images?
Yeah.
Okay.
The pocket of cold air surrounding the object is easily explained by the image-enhancing software used in the AT-FLIR system. Pretty much any FLIR image can be put into a consumer image editing program, and when a sharpening filter is applied, it gives it a halo that appears to be a different temperature. So if you take...
I've seen halos, and even just in color correcting photos, if you overdo it...
Yeah, you're going to get
anything with a sharp line gets weird aberrations around the edges.
Yeah, and that's pretty much what's happening with the gimbal footage is it looks like there's a cold pocket of air around it, but that's being run through
it's
image
so far away
software.
that it's like enhance.
Yeah, and you're
going over enhanced.
You're going to be losing definition.
God damn it.
As the camera tracks the object, it changes the level of zoom and the display type, making the actual movement hard to determine, which that's something that I noticed about the gimbal video and the FLIR 1 video is the only thing that you have to go off of, which is saying that these objects are moving at this weird, this crazy speed and moving in all these strange ways, is the testimony of the pilots, which I'm not trying to say that, all these Navy pilots are just a bunch of fucking liars, but the majority of...
And they know the technology they're using.
They know how to use the technology that they're using. They don't know the ins and outs. They know to trust the technology because it does the job that they need it to do. But so a lot of court cases that are overturned because they were relying on witness testimony, and witness testimony is very, very fallible. The way that you recall situations
isn't how it happened.
Isn't exactly how it happened. That runs through a bunch of filters in your mind. So eyewitness testimony is obviously suspect. It can and should be called into question, but if that's all you have to go off of, that's your only evidence in court. I mean, these alien sightings aren't being put on trial legally. It's just a sort of a public debate. But eyewitness testimony is so unreliable. You try to recall a previous event that you've experienced yourself. And so let's say you have a video of something happening to you, and then you try to recall that event later.
Yeah, yeah.
When you go back and watch the video, it's like, oh shit, that's not
Not quite what I
exactly.
said.
Yeah, it's not exactly the way that I remember it. So I'm not saying that these Navy pilots are lying. I'm saying that realistically, eyewitness testimony is not reliable.
That's fucked up.
Video footage is a little bit more reliable depending on the source. So like these videos, I believe that the videos are real,
Yeah.
but I do not believe that any of the videos show alien craft.
So the pilot's zooming in on a reflection, is what you're saying.
Yeah, well, it's not a reflection. What I think it is, so here, I'll pick it up from here. So as the camera tracks the object, it changes the level of zoom and the display type, making the actual movement hard to determine. Because when you watch the video, it pretty much stays right in the center of the screen, and the only time that it moves out of screen is when the camera loses its lock. And that's one of the reasons that it took that long for the videos to be released, because that's a piece of information that enemy governments can look at and be like, oh, okay, so I see that it's moving at this speed and this direction. If I want to break the camera lock,
I have to go this speed.
I have to move at this speed in this direction, or create this much angular momentum to break the lock of the camera. Which, I mean, that could be applied to anything from enemy fighter jets to missiles. So. Right. The government wants to hold on to that for long enough to make sure that either
now they have
the technology is outdated, or they've done enough testing to know, okay, there's nothing that any other enemy government can develop to counteract our abilities by using this footage.
Yeah. Or it was another military's technology that worked against it.
And they could have been trying to figure that out too, but I honestly don't believe that that's the case in any of this footage that's been released. So, it may appear to be moving very quickly, but it's actually the result of an optical illusion called parallaxing, which is something that we're both familiar with from the game development that we've done. Parallaxing is an effect...
And flat Earth theory.
Flat Earth theory, which for sure is true.
100%.
Yeah, 100%. Parallaxing is an effect caused by a difference in the apparent position of an object viewed along two different lines of sight. This results in a perceived movement that does not match an object's true movement. The object in the Gimbal video was likely some type of commercial or private plane. Because it
was a plane.
Yeah, pretty much. It was a private plane. Most likely it was a private plane because there's no commercial records of a plane flying through that area.
The diamond-shaped thing?
Which diamond-shaped thing?
Wasn't it the shape of it was shaped like this, wasn't it? Like a vagina?
No, it was like
I don't remember it now.
A blob. It was like sort of a tic-tac shaped blob. Which I think also
is it easy to find?
Yeah, if you just search the Gimbal UFO video.
I'll play it on the screen too.
Okay, so we don't have a wide shot. Where's it going to be? Is it going to be right here over the ghost bed? Is this going to be a whale dick again?
Yes.
Fucking whale dicks. Okay, so we're gonna watch the Gimbal video right now.
And we'll play it on the screen at the same time.
And
if you're watching on YouTube.
All right, so this is the Gimbal video.
Dude, this is a fucking drone, bro. There's a whole fleet of them. Look on the ASA. My gosh.
No, it looks like it's moving quickly, but that's due to the parallaxing. The jet that's filming this right now is probably going about Mach 0.5. The jet's moving really, really fucking fast.
Yeah.
And you notice that anytime... So this... you're looking at the horizon line right there.
Yeah.
Anytime it actually rotates, the horizon line is...
That's the whole video?
Changing. Yeah, it's real short.
It looked like a plane to me. I've never seen that video.
Yeah,
it just looked like a plane in the sky.
That the jet is circling around, pretty much.
Yeah, it's
and
on a bank
keeping
the
a
whole
lock
time.
on.
It's going like this, probably.
Yeah, you can even tell by the horizon line that the entire time that it's filming, the jet is
sideways
at an angle, and it's got this camera mounted underneath it that is doing its best to track this object, and it's making adjustments to the image so it's easier to see, like image stabilization and rotating and things like that.
It looked like a pterodactyl to me.
Shh, you're going to get us both fucking killed. The Gimbal video and the Flir 1 videos, I think, are... I mean, to me, none of them are convincing. We'll get into Go Fast and Flir next, but...
So you said that camera was on a gimbal?
Yeah.
You know that it can't be a gimbal, because a gimbal, even if you bank, it would stay straight. The horizon line would not change. That's what they do.
Well, if you look at the...
like the actual, like the gimbal's purpose is if you turn like this, the camera stays straight.
Yeah, it's got like a
You would
gyroscope
always,
effect.
It would always
pretty
be, the horizon line would always stay
if you
horizontal.
if you look at the direction of the clouds are the horizon. That's flat. But the seeming,
but they're at an angle.
The seeming rotation of the object itself. If you look at other videos filmed by a similar camera, heat signatures leave behind a bit of an after effect. They've got like this weird flare.
I'm just
around
talking
them.
about the frame. Maybe the gimbal that they use can only correct the image to a certain... I don't know what a military gimbal purpose is, but like in filmmaking, the gimbal keeps the horizon line completely horizontal. And stable. That's the point. Yeah, see, a gimbal would straighten that image out. It's almost completely diagonal.
But if you look at the position, look at the horizontal position that the object would be in relation to the clouds, it's pretty much flying
straight.
Straight. And
Well, sort of.
the
Not
jet
now.
itself,
Now it's-
okay, so when it rotates like that, that's what I'm talking about with
The
effects.
plane was turning or something.
Well, the plane, yes, that's what it was. Is the plane was banking at that, or the jet was banking at that point. The object itself, when you see a heat signature through this type of camera that they were using,
Yeah.
when it rotates, there's an after effect to it, and there's these strange artifacts, which you can find tons of other videos of this happening, like when they're showing footage of
I don't
jets
believe
and
any of the
stuff.
bullshit of the cooling system crap. I don't think any of that. The only thing I would say is that it's not on a gimbal, the camera.
It is on a gimbal. It's on a gimbal at Flir. I mean, that's why it's called the gimbal. It's the gimbal. It's not trying to keep
It's just keeping it stable.
It's keeping it stable. It's
Okay.
a military gimbal. It's not a film film industry gimbal.
It's pretty steady.
Well, yeah, it better be. I'm sure those things cost fucking millions of dollars.
Is that, like a couple miles?
Probably at least like. I think the gimbal footage was filmed from
Must
about
be
like
massive. It must be like this fucking big,
I think it was from about.
like the size of Yasuke's balls.
No, not nearly that big. They those had their own gravity well.
Yeah, I don't know shit about
I think the gimbal footage was filmed from like 3 kilometers away, so maybe like roughly
mile and a half,
something like that.
Fuck, that's crazy, dude.
And actually, the Go Fast footage was so the Go Fast footage. We'll get to that. We'll get into that next. That's coming up right now.
So I don't have any arguments except for it didn't seem like that was a gimbal, like the standard film gimbal, because that would keep the horizon line horizontal. But it doesn't look like a UFO to me. Looks like a fucking plane.
It's
super far. It's a mile and a half away, and
it's not even making any
weird movements or anything.
Weird
and it
movements or
looks like
anything
it
like
turns
that.
at some point.
Yeah, which I don't think that the object itself is even turning. It's the movement of either the camera or the jet itself, because there is
at one point with the if you keep the clouds flat. I'll even do this when we edit this.
It looks like it
at
puts
one point it's the whole time it's horizontal with the clouds, and then at one point it goes like this with the clouds.
And that can be explained by the after image effect that those same types of cameras can have, because if you look at similar videos of like the heat signature of jets, when the camera's rotated, the actual shape of the heat signature rotates in weird directions. Like it doesn't match the rotation of the craft. It more closely matches the rotation of the camera itself.
Okay.
Which is really hard to determine from the
That's like when the shutter speed
video.
matches with the helicopters, and it looks like the propellers aren't.
Yeah, and it looks like
aren't
the
even fucking turning.
propellers are just sitting still. It's
Something similar to that.
It's just
Or it turned.
Yeah, or it just fucking
Because literally,
turned.
if a plane turns,
it's
it
turning
looks
and,
just like
flying
that.
away from the camera at that point.
Yeah.
But I mean, in the gimbal video, it's not making any unexplainable movements.
No.
It's flying in a very stable pattern. Like it's not suddenly making a 90-degree turn and completely canceling out its momentum.
Right.
Which it seems like that's what some accounts are saying is, they're seeing these objects that are defying physics.
Dude? I got something for you. What if it is, okay, let's say it is a fucking alien in a UFO. It's a disc, right? And it's like, oh, fuck, another goddamn military jet's coming our way. All right, hit the hologram system and make us look like a plane. And then it goes, and it makes that shape to make it look like a plane. And
Actually, at the end of the episode, I'll get into that.
Okay.
Why that doesn't make sense to me either. Okay, so the Go Fast video was also filmed in 2015 by a Navy fighter jet. Same year, from the same ship. It was filmed by a Navy fighter jet,
so the
also
aliens
from the
like this
USS
shit.
Theodore Roosevelt off the coast of Florida, actually in the same area.
So the aliens were on a science mission, and they picked this one ship to fuck with.
Well, I think they were on vacation. There are a bunch of geriatric aliens that were on vacation, so they went to Florida.
Yeah.
In this video, an object is seen skimming along the surface of the ocean at an extreme speed, which this video is, even the first time I saw it, I was like, wait, why are people freaking out about this? It's fucking nothing, because the Go Fast video is so fucking stupid.
I don't know if I've seen this one.
I think all three of the videos are stupid. Here, I'll pull up the Go Fast video.
All right, let's watch it right now.
We'll watch that real quick.
So if you just search, if you're just listening, just search Go Fast video. It comes right up. There's like 5 of them.
So this is the Go Fast video. So right now the jet's trying to lock onto it. That's why you see that growing box. Finally locks onto it. Now it's tracking it.
Is that a bird?
I will tell you exactly what I believe it to be. But I mean, okay, so it does look like it's moving fast, which is kind of interesting. You wouldn't think that something
Play it
that's
again?
you wouldn't think that
It looks like a bird. Does it tell you how zoomed in it is?
Yeah, all the information around the edges of the screen.
Because if it's zoomed, like the more zoomed in you are on something,
It's
the faster it'll look. That looks like a bird, dude.
The jet was filming from 3 kilometers away, and the object itself is roughly 3 kilometers off the ground.
It's 3 kilometers off the ground?
Roughly.
Okay, so it is going fast.
No. Well, I'll explain it.
If it's that far from the ground, then those ripples and stuff
But
are a mile and a half away, so they're...
how fast is the jet moving?
But that doesn't make...
What makes the Go Fast video intriguing is that the object appeared to be traveling at high speeds, but didn't give off any heat, which is something interesting. That something moving that fast isn't because black is going to be hot in that situation. The way that they had the camera set up, black would be heat, so it's colder than the surrounding air, or roughly the same temperature as the surrounding air.
Okay, that's weird.
This would imply that it was using some form of propulsion technology that defies the laws of thermodynamics. But some nerds online used trigonometry to figure out the object wasn't moving fast at all.
How fast?
Due to the angle the object was filmed at and the speed of the jet filming it, once again, a parallax effect was created. This makes it appear that the object was moving quickly across the surface of the ocean, but actually it was the jet that was hauling ass, which was flying at around 50% the speed of sound. So the jet's moving quick, the object is moving at roughly airspeed. Like the speed
What's
of...
airspeed?
Well,
Like a
whatever,
normal plane?
however fast the wind's blowing that day. It was moving at like somewhere between
20 miles an
15, 30
hour or
miles an hour, something like that.
50 miles an hour.
15
to 20.
Yeah,
Okay.
15 to 20, something like that. I don't know what the actual
That's their guess.
wind speed
These
was
nerds.
that day.
Do they know how fast it was actually going? Has that been proven?
Yeah, you can actually look up the
And
precise
they say
numbers
it's not
because
going fast?
no, it's
Going 15 miles
according
an
to
hour.
trigonometry, because in the video itself it shows the angle that the camera is pointed, how fast the jet's moving. You can extrapolate from that what direction the jet's going in relation to the object.
Are they going separate directions?
Yeah, the jet's kind of orbiting pretty much, or it's moving like, I don't know, laterally to it or parallel, something like that. So
From my experience, the camera, the further away the camera is, and if they're 3 kilometers apart, it doesn't matter how fast the camera's going. It won't affect the image. Like you can, when you're like, imagine when you're in a car and you're looking at mountains that are super far away, it looks like they're not moving. No matter how fast you're going. Like, so the actual speed, from my experience, and my experience isn't very high, it doesn't matter to me.
well,
If the jet was close to it, then of course it would affect it. But the further away the jet is, and if it's a mile or 2 miles away, it doesn't matter if it's going 1,000 miles an hour, and if it's rotating, then the image would not be moving any faster.
so imagine, so the
It would look like a Michael Bay shot.
I don't remember the exact distances that the jet is from the object and that the object is from the
Yeah,
ground.
but you
I
can
know,
see
I know
that the ripples in the background aren't moving, which means that the jet isn't rotating around it, which means it's so far away that it couldn't even possibly be rotating, or else the actual background would be rotating like a Michael Bay shot.
Well, no, I don't know if it's actually orbiting or if it's just flying in a straight
Yeah, if
line,
they were flying like
tracking
this
it with
past
its
each other.
with its camera.
But it looks like it's above.
But well, it is definitely above. So the object is much lower than the jet is. The jet was. You can see in the video the video has the speed that it's flying and the
direction?
the altitude. So the jet was about 6,000 meters up.
Do you know they were flying opposite of each other, or are they in parallel with each other?
Opposite.
Because that would make a huge difference. Yeah.
Opposite.
Opposite, okay.
So the jet is moving at a very, very high speed. You can see in the video there's a readout that says that it's moving at like Mach 0.5, so it's like half the speed of sound. It's flying in one direction.
That won't affect
That's
the background image.
Well, it's a practically a stationary object. So really the background.
Right. Think about
moving-
this. If it's a stationary object, it would the background wouldn't be moving at all.
Well, it wasn't a stationary. It was moving with airspeed, like it was moving
Yeah.
at the speed that the wind was blowing that day.
So they say.
So the trigonometry nerds say.
Yeah.
I swear, when I watched these videos online, it totally made sense, bro.
I'm just saying from my experience as a camera operator and filmmaker and working with cameras my whole life.
So even with an extreme zoom lens on it, if you're moving at
It would only look-
at 50% of the speed of sound, filming
matter.
something that's moving fairly slow, that's like
If you're
a
locked
couple
onto
thousand
the
meters
object,
off the ground.
If you're locked onto the object, then no. If you were just locked on directionally and moving, then the image would be moving as fast as you. As soon as you lock onto a target and then that camera's bending with you, there's no longer your movement doesn't affect. It only affects the angle of the shot.
But if an object is equidistant between you and the ground, you're locked onto that object. Wouldn't
Like
the
this?
background wouldn't the background be moving at the same speed as you?
It would be like, I guess that's where the trigonometry comes in. Like if you want something to look faster in a movie, you use a longer lens. If you stay still and shoot, the object looks faster because there's more movement of the camera. If you move with the object, it'll look slower.
So if you're
If you
filming,
move faster than the object, it'll look even slower.
if you picture it like, okay, so let's say we've got Jesse Weissman's vape pen right here sitting in between us. If this vape pen that I'm holding up is the frustum of the camera's view,
Yeah.
the camera's filming from here,
Yeah.
the object is right in the center, the frustum is going to be moving along the background at the same speed as
It would have to
the object.
They would have to
wouldn't
be
it?
all lined up perfectly for that to happen.
Well, which is what the gimbal does. Is it's locking onto the object and keeping
So the
it
background
exactly
and
in
the
center of
jet
frame.
and the object were all equally exactly like that.
According to the information that I was reading, the jet was filming from 6 kilometers up. So,
You know, when you're on a plane and you look down at the waves, it looks like they're not moving. It's like a weird. The further something away is, the slower it looks, no matter what. Even on a long lens, in general.
but unless the camera is tracking with something in between you and that faraway object.
If you were stable, if the jet wasn't moving, and you were zoomed in on a lens, and it was going 15 miles an hour, it would look like it was going fast. It wouldn't look much faster if it was hauling ass, though. It would look around the same.
So if you know that the jet filming it was moving it at 50% of the speed of sound.
What is that, like 300 miles an hour?
I think the speed of sound is like
800
500 miles an hour, something like that.
So it's going like 200 miles an hour, but it's a fucking mile away.
Just
That's
for
slow.
the sake of argument, we'll say it 250 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Somebody in the YouTube
Like a Lamborghini.
I'm sure that somebody in the YouTube premiere is going to let us know. So if it's moving, I mean, I see it as like something moving around a hinge or like a central pivot
I would
point.
agree if it looked like that was happening, but when you look at the footage, it's like a solid background. Like it should look almost like a Michael Bay shot. If the jet is going fast enough where they're going a parallax like that, and it's actually
Well, the
doing
jet's
this, then
flying
the
over
background should be twisting.
The jet's
a
flying
little bit, at least a tiny bit.
The jet's flying over
Maybe it is.
the top of it pretty much. I mean, I don't know the information you can see in the frame the exact angle that the camera's pointed at.
Yeah,
and
it's
the
definitely
direction
higher.
that definitely higher.
It's hard to tell what direction it's going though.
It also has I was watching a video about it earlier that was given information on what all the different readouts on the screen meant, and it was saying, it's like
I should
it's
look at all that.
this
That
much
sounds
higher. It's aiming at this angle. I saw some diagrams showing like where the jet was in relation to the object itself. And
yeah, that all takes that.
Seems
all
like
has to have effect.
It's honestly, it seems really convincing that it was just a slow-moving object that was being filmed by a very, very fast-moving object.
And it was far enough away from the background that it looks like the background's going fast.
A large kind of, not indecipherable background, but like just a really large flat piece behind it, because the Earth is flat. Obviously, we all know that.
Yeah.
It just seemed like pretty much rotating something around a central pivot point where the background is going to be
looks
moving.
like
It's going to be moving at the same speed as whatever the object, or it's going to seem like it's moving at roughly the same. The background seems like it's moving at roughly the same speed as the object that's filming it because it's locked in and just kind of rotating with that central pivot point. So it was a balloon. That's all I'm trying to say. It's just a fucking balloon.
It's a balloon?
It's a goddamn balloon. I don't know if it's a weather balloon or just somebody had a wedding in Florida and
let go of their balloon.
Some balloons got loose and one flew out.
Let's play it. Will you play it again?
Okay, well, we'll watch it one more time. And like I said, the way that I pictured it is, according to the information that I got, the object was roughly equidistant from the surface of the ocean as it was to the jet that was filming it. Mm-hmm. So that would roughly make it the central
almost right in
pivot
the center,
point.
Yeah.
So just the way that I was picturing it is if this is only moving,
that's weird.
if this is only moving like 10 to 15 miles per hour, just a gentle offshore breeze, and this jet's moving at half the speed of sound,
the opposite direction.
even if it was moving in the same direction, a 10 mile per hour difference when you're up, going a couple hundred miles per hour.
But distance makes such a difference on that. That's crazy. Yeah, that's the way the camera turns to it. I think just from that footage, I can't tell how fast it's going. Like, it looks like it's going faster than a balloon, but it makes sense. There's too many variables in the distance and all that bullshit, but like...
There's a lot of variables to it, but if there's...
The thing is that's digitally cropped in. They should release the actual sensor-sized image of it, because...
No, as far as I know, that's not... I mean, they zoomed in on it, but that's like in camera. That's
right, but
not,
even in camera, all cameras work the same. The lens has a certain potential, and that goes to a max, and then it goes into a digital zoom. And probably, I mean, that looks like a digital zoom. If it was just a...
I mean, it might be. I have no idea.
It has to be, because...
what the capabilities
it has to be a digital
zoom cameras are.
Because if it's only the lens doing the zoom, then it would be fucking perfect quality. It doesn't affect the zoom of the lens. As far as you zoom with the lens, you don't lose quality. It's only when you go into the digital realm of zooming in on an object and enhancing it that you start losing quality. So the only...
Well, I mean, there could also be issues with the
layers and haze and
compression
blah, blah, blah.
of the image after. I mean, this obviously we don't have a raw file of the actual footage that came directly from the Navy, so the raw file could be.
But you know what I mean,
a lot better. But I mean,
there's a wide shot that looks like probably the max of the lens. It's a huge wide shot where you can't even see the object moving. I dare say zooms in a shit ton.
I dare say that the U.S. military has definitely got the best quality lenses that they could possibly have on any of the technology that they're using on their most advanced weapon system.
I've watched like
to track shit.
Like I've watched like the bombing lenses they used in World War II, and the footage from that and stuff. Like all of that's digitally zoomed in, but you can find the raws of those, and it's way wider. You can't see anything, but it's super clean.
The reason that I think that so it could be digitally zoomed in, but I think that the footage that we have from this is the same footage that they captured, the same footage that the pilots were looking at, because it still has the information display around it.
I for sure think that's the real footage, but when they were there, they were digitally zoomed in on it to try to see what it looked like, right? But what I mean is, if you could get the raw without the digital zoom in, you would see a wider shot, and you would see the speed variance a lot easier, and it'd be super clear, and you could see how far the ocean was from the fucking plane, from the jet, and you'd be like, oh, yeah, he's really fucking far away.
Yeah, the only way
the background's moving really fast.
The only way that you can tell it from the footage that's there is because of the display that's laid over the top of it. It says how far away the object that it's locked to is, and it says
how far away the background is.
It says the altitude of the jet itself, and then you have to use trigonometry to figure out, because the camera's pointing to this specific angle, the object's this far away, the plane is at this altitude, you can work out the angle between the plane and the object, or the jet and the object.
And it can't calculate the speed it was going?
No, not that I'm aware of, because
that's why people can talk about it.
People had to do some trigonometry to figure out what the actual speed was, and when they did the trigonometry, based on the speed of the aircraft, where the object was in relation to the aircraft, the distance from the object to the ground,
15 miles an hour.
They ended up coming up with about the average wind speed for the area. So
it was a fucking balloon.
As I was saying, when the angle and speed of the jet are taken into account, it reveals the object is moving at about the average wind speed for the area. Most likely, the object in the Go Fast video was a balloon being blown through the sky. The parallaxing explains the apparent speed, and the fact that it was a balloon explains the lack of heat signature.
A hot air balloon.
Most likely, at that...
How far off the ocean?
At that height, it could have been...
How is there a balloon out in the middle of the ocean? Come on, dude.
At that height, it could have been a weather balloon, or, I mean, it really could have just been a fucking party balloon blowing off the off the coast of Florida. I mean, there's plenty of
How
balloons
far
in
from
Florida.
the shore was it?
I don't know exactly.
69 meters, probably.
Yeah, that seems 69 meters or roughly 420 meters. The last video is called Flir 1. This footage was captured in 2004 by Navy pilot David Fravor. Fravor was a pilot from the USS Nimitz aircraft carrier who was sent to investigate a possible target picked up by radar. The footage shows a tic-tac-shaped object hovering in the sky, but
Tic-tac.
without any discernible movement.
The Tic-tac
once again.
video.
So it's
Is this
actually
the one that Joe Rogan's obsessed about?
No, so there was the video by David Fravor is confused with the Tic Tac object. The object in the video by David Fravor was Tic Tac shaped, but that can be confused with just an eyewitness account of seeing a Tic Tac object, which was in the same area from the same
I've seen
aircraft
Tic Tac
carrier.
at the store.
No, Tic Tacs don't exist. Prove it. Show me a Tic Tac. Exactly.
Fuck.
But yeah, the Flir 1 video is not the Tic Tac object. It has been conflated with the Tic Tac shaped object that was seen from the same aircraft carrier, but the video isn't the same thing as the story that was released.
So you're convinced the last video was a balloon, though?
Yes.
You don't think it could be an alien in a balloon craft
Holy shit.
to stay undercover?
Oh my God.
It could be a balloon-shaped craft moving at 15 miles an hour
Oh my God.
to stay hidden from the radars. Hello?
No.
What if
No.
aliens are small? Like, their ships are balloons?
Okay, I'm going to. The tail end of the episode is all about why I don't think the aliens have ever been to Earth. At least not
Right,
within.
but I'm talking
not
about
within the
now.
human lifespan.
We're in the moment right now, and there's a balloon
Well-
out in the middle of the ocean
well,
going
we've
15
got-
miles an hour.
We've got a fucking.
What if they came from a planet that was really small?
We've got show notes to follow, Joel.
Cheers, Coop. Let's do a shot together.
Cheers. Again, this can all be easily explained by the camera and software being used by the jet. There is no discernible movement from the object itself, and any perceived movement coincides with adjustments to the camera. Like the Gimbal video, this was most likely a commercial or private aircraft. So the Gimbal video and the Flir 1 video are very, very similar, where it's even fairly similarly shaped object.
Where it looks like a plane.
Where it, it looks like a shitty outline of a plane very, very far away. And it's being filmed by an aircraft that is moving at a decent percentage of the speed of sound. Okay, so this is where I want to get into my reasons for not believing that aliens have been to Earth. This is not me saying that aliens don't exist, because like I said, I fully believe that alien life for sure exists. The level of technology that they have, I don't know. I can't say. I'm fairly agnostic in that sense. But I don't believe that any human has ever seen an alien. And this is why. There are some practical reasons to discredit UFO sightings, the first being the unimaginable size of the universe. Our galaxy has a radius of 52,580 light years, and that means if you were traveling at the speed of light, which is 186,282 miles per second, or 300,000 kilometers per second, it would take over 50,000 years to travel from one side of the galaxy to the other. That's just our galaxy, which our galaxy is one of literally billions of other galaxies in the universe. The closest galaxy to us is the Andromeda Galaxy, and close is a very relative term in this case, as the Andromeda Galaxy is 2.54 million light years away, which means we can't see anything in the Andromeda Galaxy as it is today. We see it the way that it was 2.5 million years ago. The reason that I bring this up is I'm going to get into something called light cones here in a second, but something, an alien species living on another planet, thousands and thousands of light years away from us, we haven't even registered on their radar yet, unless they have technology that breaks or somehow surpasses our current understanding of the laws of
speed
physics,
of light, yeah.
which is I believe is possible, because we don't even fully understand the laws of physics because we're just getting into the quantum physics realm. And there's a whole bunch of shit about that we don't understand. So I think that there actually is ways. There are ways to get around our current understanding of the laws of physics because there's a lot of things about the universe that we don't understand. Mm-hmm. There are other things about that still convince me that aliens haven't been here. Or at the very least, they don't give a shit about us.
So you don't think it's possible that aliens have figured out travel where it's instantaneous and the universe is no longer forever? It's just like you can go anywhere you want if you think about it?
No, I actually think that...
So then the size wouldn't matter anymore?
No, it wouldn't. But that still doesn't get around some other...
So why wouldn't they come here?
Because why would they? Well, we'll get into it. As we gaze at the stars, we are looking into the past. The light we see was emitted hundreds, thousands, millions, or even billions of years ago. An alien civilization viewing our planet from 1,000 light years away would not see us walking around making stupid fucking TikTok videos. They would see Basil the Bulgar Slayer leading the Byzantine Empire to defeat the Kingdom of Georgia at Lake Palacazzo. I put that in there just for you.
Nice.
Because that's what was happening in 1021.
Which was
1,000 years ago.
So they'd be like, oh, shit.
You'd be like, oh, they're not advanced. They're just a bunch of...
But they would know the time distance, and they would be able to calculate where we were at based off of what they saw.
They would either... So if they can travel beyond the speed of light, get anywhere
they would have cameras
instantaneously, and if they're viewing...
predicted the future.
If they're viewing everything in the universe. So we're a needle in a haystack. If they're able to find that needle in a haystack and they're able to travel there instantaneously. So, okay, let's say...
we're in a needle in a haystack for us. With their technology, any form of life will instantly show up on their little system.
So then why would they waste... I mean, they would be able to see all the other forms of life.
Yeah, and there'd be
in
like
the universe
30.
Well, I mean, in the entire universe, there could be...
Well, it just depends.
Millions,
they
or
would
billions,
know.
or trillions of forms
or
of life.
3.
So if...
At a current moment, right, it could be only 1. Or maybe 1 million. Or maybe 4. Depending on the year. Or the day. Or the distance.
Wait, what?
Because the chance of there being 1 million different forms of life is the same chance of there only being 1.
So that's why... That's actually why I'm convinced that there's not just alien life in the universe. I have a feeling there's a lot of alien life in the universe. So there's the whole shout out to Isaac Arthur. I know that there's got to be some of our listeners that listen to Science and Futurism with Isaac Arthur. He is my favorite futurist. I fucking love listening to his videos. I don't watch them all that often. I put them on while I'm doing something else and listen to it more like a podcast.
What are you doing? Mm-hmm. You like the sound of his voice.
You listen to his voice and tell me you're not going to be jacking it. There's the whole Fermi paradox. Where
the what?
The Fermi paradox, where if you look at the seemingly infinite vastness of the universe, where if life exists on Earth, then statistically it would make sense that life exists on other planets.
Somewhere else, yeah.
Why can't we detect any of that life? We could do a whole series of episodes about the Fermi paradox, which I would love to do, but I don't think.
Why
it's
isn't there an alien race that can
just
just communicate with their technology just has the ability to go,
well, I mean, that's
hello to all life at once.
That's really, that's where the Fermi paradox comes in, because it seems like with the infinite size, the seemingly infinite size of the universe, there should be alien life out there. Why have we not detected any yet, and there's actually a lot of different scary reasons. It seems like every single fucking explanation for the Fermi paradox is fucking terrifying.
Because we're ants.
Because, well, no, so one of the explanations is the Great Filters, where any civilization, as it progresses through its timeline, will meet some sort of filter that makes it so it doesn't reach the interstellar level. So that's kind of like one of the lower levels of the Fermi paradox, where there's some...
Life is all stuck on their planets?
There's some gateway where every intelligent civilization ends up wiping itself out. Either it wipes itself out, or it goes through some mass extinction event that makes it so it never becomes an interstellar species.
Every time, no matter what?
Well, that's why it's one of the great filters. It comes down to either we are the first species to surpass these filters, like we're the first life to get to the point that we're at right now, which to me doesn't seem very convincing, or we're one of many instances of intelligent life that has gotten this far along, but we haven't hit the filter yet. So either we've surpassed the filter and we're one of the first species to ever get past those great filters, or we have some cataclysmic event in our future that we can look forward to that's going to wipe all of us out.
That sounds great.
So that's one of the explanations for the Fermi paradox. There's a whole lot of different explanations, or theoretical explanations to the Fermi paradox. One of the ones that I actually really like is so you played Mass Effect.
Yeah. Well, I played Mass Effect 2.
So you know about
3.
The Reapers. They're this ancient artificial intelligence that anytime they come back every so many thousands of years and wipe out all life in the universe.
Oh, those
so it doesn't
fuckers.
Advance beyond a certain point.
Yeah.
That's actually kind of roughly one of the other explanations for the Fermi paradox, is the reason that we're not detecting any other advanced life in the universe is because they're being quiet, because there's predators out there. There's something that
I like that
you don't want something out there in the universe to know that you're there. So
there's another life form hiding us, protecting us.
Well, that's even something that Stephen Hawking was. You're actually starting to look like what's the name of it? Going back to Mass Effect, there was a species that had multiple eyes. I can't remember what the name was.
Uterus.
Yeah, the
Uteri.
The Utarians. Stephen Hawking actually advocated against sending signals out into space because we don't know what's out there. We might not. It's like
getting yourself killed.
It's like being out in the ocean. You don't want to sit there and splash around because you might attract a shark. If you just hold real still, there's less of a likelihood that a shark's going to come along.
That is way
if
more.
If you thrash around,
you're going to get killed.
You can be attracting predators. So by sending all of these radio signals into space, we could be attracting predators that we don't know about. Or
no,
the
we
predator.
Are.
Yeah,
from what we've learned,
I'm kind of for it. As long as
that makes so much more sense.
As long as there's other life in the universe, I'm not worried about the human race being wiped out, because what I think is important is that there is life in the universe. I would obviously be upset if the human race got wiped out, because I'm kind of invested in it. I'm part of it.
Yeah.
But I think
that's what it is.
Until we
need
discover,
to shut the fuck up and get out there on our own. It's like we're baby turtles right now. We're about to hatch and go out into space, which is the ocean.
And we're flopping out into the water, making a bunch of noise, not realizing that there's seagulls and tiger sharks out in the water. They're going to fucking murder us.
Isn't it the case, like 300 baby turtles get launched into space, which is the ocean, and like 250 of them die, get eaten right away?
Oh, a huge percentage of them.
Almost all of them. Like 4 make it.
So, that very well could be one of the answers to the Fermi paradox, is the reason that we're not picking up other alien life in the universe is because the ones that survive are hiding, and they're hiding for a reason. Or
because it's the ocean.
Or there's nothing else out there that has surpassed any of the filters that we've gone through at this point. And if there's nothing else that has surpassed... Well, we're not...
We got nukes.
We're not nukes are real fucking mellow
compared
like
to eel. like we're in our little cave, and there's a whole ocean, but we're just stuck in the rock.
If there's any other
So
species,
everyone's just staying away from that rock because they know that's where the eel is. Just don't go there.
if there's any other species in the universe that can actually accomplish interstellar travel, they are not afraid of us. Not at all. They would have no reason to be afraid, because all they have to do to get away, it's like...
They just leave.
Well, it's like humans being afraid of sharks. Sharks are scary when you're in the water. You just leave the fucking water.
True, but maybe it just depends on what
It's like we could...
Maybe when they go into the atmosphere, they're like, okay, we're going to go in the atmosphere, but it takes 4 minutes to get out of it and get back to full speed, and we could get killed. That's risky. Let's do it.
But, I mean, if they... So this is something that I get into a little bit later in the episode. If they have the technology to travel that distance, they're not afraid of anything that we can do to them.
It just, doesn't that depend on what direction their...
I mean, maybe they're
their
fucking
advancements
pussies.
went? Like in War of the Worlds, the book,
They
leave Mars because their planet's dying, so they crash land on Earth, and they have fully advanced technology, but they left in a hurry, so they're not ready to deal with our climate, and so they crash land all over the planet, and then they can't, their bodies and the way they are, because Mars is smaller, the gravity is lighter.
Well,
So
then,
they can't even pick themselves up, so they're all stuck in their ships, being like, "Oh my god, it's so heavy here. This sucks."
well, then still, if they have the technology to travel from Mars to Earth, which we don't have yet, they're obviously more technologically advanced than we are. They're able to get here without us detecting them. Which, I mean, a fleet of ships crash landing on Earth
We just didn't know what they
that we're not able to.
Are we talking about War of the
detect.
Worlds, or are we talking about Mars Attacks right now?
Oh shit, that's tough. I mean,
Because we saw them
both.
in War of the
Well, I
Worlds.
mean, even now,
we
if-
thought it was an asteroid.
if
in
we
Mars
see-
Attacks, they're fucking aliens are coming. There's just nothing we could do.
We see them in both situations,
But there's nothing we can do about
but
it.
both situations they have more advanced technology than we do, and in both of those situations they lose for a really fucking stupid reason.
Yep.
So I mean,
But I think the reason in War of the Worlds is awesome, because that's happened in the history of with our world.
but it's
Got
always on the less advanced side of the equation.
Well, no, that's not true, because right when the Romans or whoever attacked Africa, they got sick and they left, and they were the advanced side.
Wait, when?
Someone attacked Africa, and we're going in, we're going to take over Africa, and they got a disease, and sick, climate, everything. They're like, yeah, fuck, it's not worth it, and half of their troops died, and then they retreated. Wasn't that the Romans?
Considering the prevalence of malaria over there, that's understandable. But if they, I mean, still the majority of the time that
It's actually in the book. The part.
In
Remember, I told you
advanced-
to read the prologue to
War of the
War of
Worlds,
the Worlds, because it's modern, because the book was remade. It's by a modern dude who's a sweet author, a scientist guy, wrote this whole theory, and he talks about that specific thing.
if we're comparing,
I don't know what it was.
If we're comparing our own history to the possible future, any time that a more technologically advanced civilization has met a less advanced
they
civilization,
usually win.
it always goes very, very poorly for the less advanced.
It just depends
civilization.
on the reasons. And that was in War of the Worlds. It was like they didn't really have the technology to leave their planet. It was like a last ditch effort, and they're like, "Fuck, we're all gonna die unless we just take these rockets and aim towards the closest planet that we might be able to live on."
I mean, then realistically, in that situation, it would behoove them to make themselves known. Be like, "Hey, look, we're a species from this other planet. We need somewhere to crash for a while.
Yeah. Well, they
Hook us up with a couch."
I think they try. In the book, it's way different than the movie. Like, in the book, it's like there's just no way to communicate with each other because they're completely different. They make weird sounds, and when they first land, they can barely different from the movie. In the book, the first one that crashes, the first one that gets there, like, they can't even get out of their ship. Their ship is destroyed. They can barely get out. One of them climbs out and dies. And then the second one is climbing out, and then there's all these kids, and it's like the crash landing is surrounded by humans, and they're throwing rocks because they're all like, what the fuck is it? Whoa! All excited. And then, like, as a defense mechanism, it just, like, torches the area around the pod. Like,
that's sort of like, shit, what was his name? Klaatu from The Day the Earth Stood Still. In The Day the Earth Stood Still, this AI robot comes out
super
and
old movie.
is willing to... Well, they did a remake with Keanu Reeves.
I've seen the original. Like, the robot's like a guy in a really shitty suit.
Yeah, the robot's willing to be peaceful, but as soon as it's attacked...
Just kills everybody.
It's like, oh, okay, well, obviously I need to sterilize this entire area to get rid of the threat.
Yeah.
Still, that's...
like, in the book, it seems like that's what they're doing. Like, they just wipe the area out. They're not killing everybody. They don't even know what we are yet.
I feel like that's putting too much human emotion into something that isn't human. It's anthropomorphizing aliens.
Well, I think it was the opposite. There was no emotion. It didn't even look at the humans as life or anything. It just was like, these things are too close. Let's sterilize the area while we try to survive.
Now, see, that I can believe.
Yeah, I think that's how
in
it
advance.
was.
Well, I mean, that's gonna. Well, I'll
like
go
when
into,
you want to build your house, you kill all the bugs and ants, and you blow, you nuke the little area that you want to live in.
I will actually get into that because that applies very heavily to my views on alien life.
Should I take my glasses off now?
No, they look good.
Like this?
No, put them back. So, like I was saying, aliens.
Do you want one of these?
Sure, why not? I probably won't be able to read.
Well, you can put it on top of your glasses.
I'll try and read. If it doesn't work, then for the people listening, I just put on sunglasses and
God, you look cool, dude.
I can't see shit.
Wait, try these ones because they're not as tinted.
Okay, that's a little bit better, but I mean, I still can't see shit. I've got horrible eyes. First and foremost, the reason that I believe that we haven't been visited by aliens is because of the vast amount of space in the universe. Just for anything to detect us, it would have to be within our light cone, which our light cone is...
What's a light cone?
Well, I will explain that now. If I actually, I can't do this with sunglasses on. I can't see well enough. I need my regular glasses back.
What if you put these on top of those? Just try it, and if it sucks, then
That'll
forget
work.
it.
No, I think
You can't even see the glasses underneath the glasses.
The path traveled by the light being emitted or reflected by an object is called a light cone.
Light cone.
Any observer beyond this light cone would be completely unaware of the object's existence because the light hasn't reached them yet.
No!
This is actually something
that makes total sense.
This is something that freaks me the fuck out because when, you look up at the stars, even looking through the most advanced telescope that we have.
You're looking at something a fucking billion years ago.
You're looking at shit that is
Dead
hundreds, thousands, millions, billions of years old. But
that's fucking creepy,
there's stuff
actually,
out,
if you think about it.
There's stuff
much.
out beyond that we're never going to see because of the expansion of the guy, because everything is continuously expanding.
Yeah.
There's stuff out there that because light just can't move fast enough, as far as we know right now, the speed of light is the hard limit to how fast something can move in the universe.
That we can see with our five senses.
That we can see with even just on any spectrum.
Do you believe in more than five senses?
I think there's like 16 different senses.
Do you think there could be more that we don't understand?
Yes. Well, I believe that there's things that we don't currently. Well, I mean, I dare say I know for a fact that there are things that we can't currently measure or detect with
female
our
anatomy.
current the female orgasm.
You and me, yeah.
No, anybody. The female orgasm is a myth. I've never seen it.
Dryland's a myth too.
Oh no, I've seen a lot of dry. Oh, land. So think about that. That's actually something that honestly really does freak me out. Is
I don't like that there's shit hiding in the dark that hasn't been seen yet. The light hasn't hit yet.
We can never. No, light's being emitted from it, but the universe is expanding so quickly, it's accelerating. everything in the universe is moving away from everything else. And not only it's not moving at a consistent pace, it's accelerating away from everything else.
So what happens when it moves faster than the speed of light? Like if right now the Earth started moving a little bit faster than the speed of light, would we start to be like?
I will get into that. Also, I'm not going to get into it.
We'd have to hold hands for the rest of our life because we'd be in the darkness.
How is that any different than?
Oh, you mean the hand holding?
Well, yeah. So we keep continuing to do the thing that we always do?
Cooper live.
Shit.
We don't hold hands.
No.
Pussy.
I drink whiskey. So the thing that freaks me out is I can't do the sunglasses right now.
Nothing can move faster than the speed of light so far that we know.
As far not following the model of physics that we currently have, it has a measurable speed, which is 186,200 miles per hour, 300,000 kilometers per second. But
there's stuff in the universe that hasn't been touched by light.
It is 186,282 miles per hour, or 300,000 kilometers per second. No, it's not that it hasn't been touched by light. It's the.
But is there something that hasn't been?
I mean,
there must be, right? Shit that's on the outer edge that's hauling ass faster than the speed of light. Light's trying to chase it, but it can't catch it. What is that thing? It's a black nothing.
There are theoretically rogue planets, like planets that aren't in orbit around a star, that are just traveling through the universe.
And light hasn't touched it yet?
I mean, possibly. Everything
was touched by light when it started? Is that the theory?
Well, I mean, when the Big Bang happened, that emitted a bunch of radiation, which is just on a different spectrum of
light.
I mean, the visible light is...
Light causes cancer.
A very small portion of a spectrum of like infrared, radio waves. Like, it's all kind of different wavelengths of what we consider to be light.
Yeah.
Photons?
Night vision.
Somebody in the premiere...
infrared.
Let me know. I'm not a physicist.
The Predator has all the lights in his helmet, like all the different types of light. He can switch to seeing.
So everything that the Predator can see is the way that we detect pretty much everything else.
Yeah.
I mean, even the way that we communicate, like radio waves, things like that, that's all part of the same spectrum. X-rays, gamma rays, infrared, visible light.
Are there people trying to control the speed of light? Like slow it down?
Oh, people have. You can actually see, there's a really fucking cool video that shows a beam of light going through, of all things, a Coke bottle that's filled with water. And you can actually see like the beam moving through the bottle. Which,
What's in the bottle?
Water.
Water slows it down enough?
So the speed of light is the speed that light travels in a vacuum. Because if it interacts with anything else,
slows it down.
Like primarily gravity is gonna change its velocity, but it's all just a bunch of this is shit that I don't understand.
Yeah.
Like by a long shot.
Does freezing it slow it down?
I don't think heat affects it at all, but possibly. I know gravity does for sure. That's why black holes exist. Is a black hole is a point of gravity that is so strong that not even light can escape. The only reason that we can actually detect any black holes, like the black hole that humans finally took a picture of, I don't know, maybe like a year ago or something like that. The only reason that we were able to
video.
Image that, yeah, the one where it's just, and they fucking
gaping.
Yeah, and that dude's just fucking slamming it. That's a black hole.
I think we're talking about two different things here. I'm trying to talk about a black hole in space.
Oh,
right?
Okay, yeah. So the only reason that we were able to actually get an image of a black hole, so we can detect black holes by seeing the way that their gravity affects the other objects around them. Like that's the way that Sagittarius A star was first discovered, which Sagittarius A star is the black hole that's in the center of our galaxy. And that's one of the things that's holding our entire galaxy together, which the other thing that's holding it together is dark energy or dark flow.
Dark matter.
Dark matter, I guess you could
Wait,
say.
I thought dark matter moved faster than the speed of light. And it could go through planets and stuff.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's tachyons that are theorized to move faster than the speed of light. The issue with moving faster than the speed of light is because of the theory of relativity. It like I said, this is something else that I'm going to get into at the tail end of the episode. If you travel faster than the speed of light, you break the flow of time, and you get into a situation where cause precedes effect. So, like, the way that we currently understand the universe to work, you can't do that because time flows linearly. It goes from the past to the future, and even the speed of light doesn't surpass that. The speed of light gets up to the point where time is at a standstill. So for photons, like the light particles or waves, it depends on whether it's observed or unobserved because the double slit experiment. Another thing that I have
if you
a
go
really
faster
fucking hard
than
time,
the speed of light, time stops?
you go back in time. If you go at the speed of light, time comes to a standstill. If you go past the speed of light, you start traveling backwards in time.
How? That's weird.
Fuck, I don't know. I mean, like
But if you go, like, the further you are from something, the faster that thing goes in time, right? Or the faster you're moving.
No, it has to do with it has to do with gravity and speed because gravity slows down time.
That's so fucking weird, dude.
Get this, your feet are moving at a different time scale than the top of your head.
Right, because you're
by
further
very,
away.
very, 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 very minute. I mean, like a very small amount.
But it is.
But it is. An airliner, when you're up in an airliner, you're moving at a different time rate than everything else that's closer to gravity. That shit is just fucked.
It's too complicated.
That is so goddamn weird.
But it's true.
It's not only is it true,
So
it is quantifiable. You can measure it. The satellites that handle GPS, they're further away from the gravity of Earth and they're moving faster. So we actually have to, like,
you adjust the
humans
clocks.
have to adjust the time scale.
That's so
for the satellites because it's
They'll start falling behind.
Quantifiable phenomenon.
Or they move ahead or they fall behind?
They move ahead, I believe. Because I think the more gravity there is, the slower time moves. So one of the best representations of time, I mean, at least our rough and very loose understanding of time that I've ever seen, is if you take a globe, this is going to be really hard to explain, but I'll try to explain it. You take a globe, like a globe of Earth. You know those like keychains that have the extendable wire on them? Like we had it at Amgen for our security badges.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
like a retractable...
Like a dog leash thing.
Yeah. You put those on them and you set up some way that you can guarantee that when you pull those wires out, they're parallel to each other. If you pull them out and wrap them around the globe, they eventually come together. And when you first pull them out, they're parallel, but as they move through time, they're coming together.
I don't understand.
It's I am not the right person to be explaining
this is the crazy shit
right now. But this is the shit that I fucking love to talk about. Like, this is the confusing shit about the universe that makes me believe that
we don't know shit.
We don't know shit, and aliens have never been here. Because
or they've been here and they don't
maybe
care.
aliens have been here, but if they've been here, we've never fucking seen them. If aliens wanted to abduct anybody, they would never know that they had been abducted because if they're able to control physics to the point that they can,
they would just take us on and we wouldn't even know.
Yeah.
So it's probably happened.
I mean, it very well could have, but that's the reason that I think that UFO sightings are bullshit.
Yeah.
So it's not that UFO sightings are bullshit. It's that
what
we see as
real,
UFOs,
they're not aliens.
That's true. It's a flying object that you don't know what it is. By definition, it's an unidentified flying object or unidentified aerial phenomena, as the government's calling it now. UAPs instead of UFOs.
UAPs.
But a sufficiently advanced civilization is going to be indistinguishable from magic. Arthur C. Clarke said that.
Right.
And that's very, very true. Something
Well,
that's so advanced.
Lazy.
I mean, they're not, if they get to that point, they're not even going to be late. There's
No,
going to be
about
there's
like
going
how
to be
when
no
we
concept
hang
of
out-
laziness.
When we hang out with like monkeys and shit that are lower than us, they might like go by and be like, "Oh, look, another one of those fucking human planets. Let's go fucking fuck with them for a minute." It's like the same as like, "Oh, look, an anthill. Let's kick it over," and then take off.
When National Geographic photographers and videographers are filming nature scenes,
Yeah.
and they see a lion chasing down a gazelle and killing it, they could easily stop that situation from
They
happening.
let it happen, yeah.
But they let it happen.
Right.
The
Gazelle
most
never
part,
knows that the camera guy was there.
Let me wrap this up.
All right.
Well, let me just get through the tail end of this to explain why I still believe that aliens have not been here.
Yeah. Wait, I had one question. If you could try to explain how does it start going back in time if you go faster than the speed of light?
Because, I mean, from my rough understanding, time and movement are connected. Like traveling through space.
It's connected to time in some way.
Space-time. Because everything in the universe is moving.
That's so funny.
Even so, right now the Earth is moving at what it's like 25,000 miles per second around the sun. I mean that's probably not the right figure. It might be,
But we're also all moving together.
but then the sun is hauling ass through the universe at an insane speed because we're all circling around Sagittarius A star, which is the center of our galaxy. Our entire galaxy is moving.
Yeah.
Every other galaxy in the universe we're all expanding away from each other.
Yeah.
So, I mean, theoretically, if something actually stops and stays in a single spot, that might stop time. Like the slower you go, maybe that.
But that's
this
the faster you go.
Because in some, so like I said, I'm.
Does it depend on the direction? Like if you're moving with the
I think
universe?
I think it's. I mean, I honestly don't know. I think it really just has something to do with movement. I am very much not the right person to answer that question. I've got my own like rudimentary.
Yeah.
It's not even an understanding. It's like I've got my own rudimentary pictures of how it works.
If you were going the speed of light and then you went a little bit faster,
You would start going back in time.
but could you turn back and see yourself?
So, okay, get this. If you're, all right, let's say,
Like, is the light's still here because you got away from the light, but the light would still be projecting what it's touching?
let's say you were walking along, I mean, saying that you're walking along the surface of a black hole doesn't really work because a black hole is a singularity. It's like an infinitesimally small point in space that has so much gravity. Because this is actually something that I was surprised by when I first learned about it. Black holes aren't big. Black holes are very, very, very small. All of them are very, very small. Their event horizon can be extremely large. I mean,
they're like reached, but that they're grabbing is huge.
their event horizon can. I mean,
Event
the
horizon.
biggest black holes that we've detected in the universe, their event horizon is bigger than.
I can't believe that's Dr. Grant in outer space.
I know.
He's so
Dude,
creepy in that.
I fucking love Event Horizon.
I haven't seen it in so long, but it scared the fuck out of me when I was a
Came
kid.
out the same year as Starship Troopers. I dare say that 1997 and 1998 are hands down the best years for movies. Starship Troopers, Event Horizon, and 13th Warrior all come out within like a year of each other.
T2, 96.
Well, what else came? Jurassic Park came out in what, 93? Somewhere between 93 and 95?
Wait, when was T2?
Best years
No,
for movies
T2 was
ever.
91 or 92. Sorry.
In terms of a lot of very good movies coming out within the same year.
That's a good break of film.
Starship Troopers, 13th Warrior, Event Horizon,
That's badass.
This is way off topic, but yeah, that's
Event Horizon. That's Morpheus is in that when he's a young boy.
When I went and saw Starship Troopers, my mom took me and my sister to the theater. She dropped us off to watch Starship Troopers while she went and saw Event Horizon.
Whoa.
Because she knew that Event Horizon would have been too much for my delicate sensibilities at the time.
The flash images of hell, so fucked up.
Apparently getting way off topic. I'm sorry, everybody, but I mean, fuck.
It's space, universe, time.
You know what you're
Event
getting
Horizon.
yourself into. You're tuning into the Iconoblast podcast. You know what's going on. The flashback sequence in hell for Event Horizon, that was actually supposed to be a lot longer, but the ideas that they had for it would have made it like an NC-17 movie. Because it was supposed to be a death orgy. Like a bunch of people fucking each other and killing
I mean, that's
each
what
other.
it already looked like, even in the flashes.
Yeah. Oh,
In the part when that dude gets shot out into space, and he's like, ah! And he's like holding his face, and the blood squirts out of his eyes.
Yeah, honestly,
Morpheus catches him.
That, I mean, I dare say that was one of the more accurate representations of somebody decompressing. Because if you just get launched out into space, you're not, depending on where you are, you're not necessarily going to instantly die. It's going to be the barotrauma that's going to fuck you up the most right away. So anyway, getting back around to the aliens, if you were to be, well, not just aliens, but like light, that whole shit that we were
Light
just talking
causing
about.
the devil and turning
Dr.
Grant into the devil.
And forcing Dr. Grant to gouge his own eyes out and sew them together. Yeah. So if you were walking along the surface or moving along the event horizon of a black hole, if you looked forward, you would see the back of your own head because the light particles are orbiting around the black hole.
So you would see the back of yourself.
Yeah.
In front of you?
If you looked forward, you would see the back of yourself.
What if you look backwards?
Then you would see the back of yourself.
So you would be constantly seeing yourself right behind yourself?
It would be, honestly, Elite Dangerous.
Does it depend on the direction you're going?
There's a video game called Elite Dangerous that outside of Interstellar, the movie Interstellar actually has an image of a black hole that was designed by an astrophysicist. So when you watch Interstellar, that is currently the most accurate representation we have, the black hole in Interstellar.
At the end?
Yeah.
When it's just weird looking? And
well, I mean,
you're looking through the bookshelf and
stuff? Well, the only time that they show a black hole in Interstellar,
I can't remember now.
There's like one scene in Interstellar where they show the black hole, and like it's got the accretion disk around it and the lights wrapping around it in weird ways. That's the most accurate representation that we have of a black hole.
What we think a
black
hole is.
And it was supported by the picture that we ended up getting of a black hole, which I don't remember the name of the black hole that we took a picture of. It took a whole shitload of work finding it and then taking a picture of it.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, props to the fucking scientists that went through all that shit. But
probably took his whole life.
Well, no, it was a whole fucking group of people. Like, it was a lot of people working on it all together. But because of the gravity of a black hole, light will orbit around it. It
can grab light and pull it.
Yeah.
That's so crazy.
It's so strong that anything that goes beyond the event horizon of a black hole, we have no idea what happens to it at that point because there's no way to measure it. Because the main way that pretty much the only way that we measure anything is by bouncing other particles off of something and
analyzing that
and measuring those particles. So yeah, once something goes beyond the event horizon of a black hole, lots of theories, because there's theories about white holes, where if something goes into a black hole, it comes out of a white hole, which, by the way, fucking
I've been
racist.
in a lot of white holes.
Drink. But there is a theory that every black hole has a corresponding white hole, where the black hole is sucking in matter, the white hole is ejecting matter. All theoretical. We have, as far as I know, we have no evidence for it. The universe is a really, the way that people, well, not everybody, but the way that a lot of people think of aliens, I feel like it's so rudimentary because the universe is so fucking huge and so confusing and so beyond our current understanding that applying any sort of human thought to it just doesn't make sense to me. It's like the difference between chimpanzees and humans.
Yeah.
Chimpanzees have a whole different day-to-day lifestyle and a day-to-day understanding of the universe than we do.
And they don't really give a fuck that we exist.
And we only have like a 1 to 2% DNA difference between humans and chimpanzees. So something else that has that 1 to 2% difference from us in intelligence
Be way different.
is going to be incomprehensible to us. I mean, how can you... Okay, let me finish this up because this is what I get into. So going back to the speed of light, the speed of light is a hard limit on how quickly something can move according to our current understanding of physics. To travel faster than light would take an infinite amount of energy, and due to relativity, going faster than light would break the flow of time and send you into the past, creating a situation where effect comes before cause. To travel the immense distances between stars within a finite amount of time would take technology beyond our comprehension, and therein lies the primary reason it is doubtful aliens have ever been to Earth. Humans don't try to discuss politics with amoebas, so why would advanced civilizations be interested in us? To bring this to a close, let's pretend some ancient civilization has developed technology that allows them to realistically travel through interstellar space, and they picked Earth from the trillions and trillions of other planets in the universe, and they come to observe us without making direct contact. So we have all these UFO sightings without any direct contact that we're aware of.
Like we have contacts with like our contact with amoebas.
What do you mean?
We know they exist. We've seen them. We've looked at them. They don't know we exist.
Yeah. And also they don't really have any way to
even know we exist.
Know that we exist.
Yeah.
With this unimaginable technology, why the fuck would aliens let us see them? If this species was capable of surpassing the speed of light, they would have a level of control over physics that we can't even begin to understand. And if aliens really are visiting Earth, they sure as hell aren't going to let us see them unless they want us to.
Or we just can't even see them even if we wanted to, because we're like the amoeba.
Yeah.
So they...
I mean, that...
Like how we
I would
try to like find every living creature on our planet and just catalog it in a fucking book.
And there's
that could have happened.
There's one fucking centipede over in Southeast Asia that got picked up by a scientist and documented and then put down. And,
that was it.
And leaves.
Didn't even touch it. Just took a picture of it.
Yeah, none of the other ones. No idea that it was even there.
We're just another caterpillar on
a
document.
An
alien's book.
The scientist.
It's an alien book, dude. It's an alien biography book, and we're just one sentence on page 350 out of 4,000.
We're like Darwin's drawings of the Galapagos Islands, where he was just drawing quick sketches of.
I think that's
of
more
what he
possible
saw
than anything else.
And what's fucked up is
we're an amoeba.
Darwin ate almost everything that he found.
Why didn't they eat us then?
I mean, they might have. There's been a whole lot of unexplained disappearances in history.
True. They ate all the dinosaurs.
It
wasn't a meteor.
That's what
that
happened
was
to
a
the
ship
fucking
that
dinosaurs.
Landed. It was a ship that landed, and they ate them all.
Those greedy motherfuckers. Did you know scientists ate mammoth?
They wanted to try it.
I mean, I would.
I want to fucking eat anything that I find.
They found, so some archaeologists found honey in an ancient Egyptian tomb, rehydrated it, and ate it. Because honey never spoils. It's weird. Honey has antibacterial properties to it where it never goes bad. So if you rehydrate it, doesn't matter how old it is, if you can still find the crystals and rehydrate it, apparently you can still eat it.
We should get some honey. In case the apocalypse happens, we should have like a backlog of it or something.
I should probably go check on that fucking obnoxious cat that I got. All right, well...
That's it?
That's it. Let's wrap
So
it up.
wait,
I
so
gotta
do
go
you-
take care of this fucking pussy. That I
Last
got.
thing, do you think it's possible that what we just said could be true?
So if this alien species was concerned with documenting us,
It's not that concerned. It's just kind of
Well,
like
no, if-
it's someone's fucking shitty job.
if they wanted
It's
to,
an intern. I should be wearing this because we're talking about UFOs. Rest in peace, Bud McAllister.
Bud McAllister, R.I.P. Because see, we can't project our human feelings onto
True.
aliens. Like
That's just
to
the
a certain
version
degree
that I could see it in.
So right now, when scientists or biologists or anything like that, when they try to observe nature in its natural state,
Yeah.
they try to interfere with it as little as possible. So if there was an alien species that was trying to observe us in our natural state,
Yeah.
they would want to interfere as little as possible.
So we would never know.
If they have the technology to...
If it was like a robot, sentient, it wouldn't even have to come here. It would just do a scan. It's doing scans all the time. It goes
Dude.
beep, 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 life form, beep, 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 this, beep, 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 beep,
So
beep, and
if-
it goes into a storage unit, or it goes into a hard drive.
If we
Goes
can
into the cloud.
we can develop telescopes where we can look at the surface of Mars to a decent degree. You can buy a consumer level telescope where you can
So,
actually see.
Thinking of this, you don't think an
Well,
alien's
hang
seen
on.
us?
You can buy a consumer telescope that can actually get pictures of Olympus Mons on Mars, a mountain on Mars. That's something that you can buy
At the store.
at a store. And it's not easy to do it. You have to wait for the right weather and all this other shit. So with our comparatively rudimentary
monkey technology,
we're able to see a decent amount of the surface of another planet. Some species that has the ability to travel between stars, which we are nowhere near traveling between stars.
Not even have to travel, just analyze every planet in the universe with their computer.
That's still getting around the speed of light to a certain degree. Because if you're just collecting
like
light, because that's what
human-
we're doing right now. Like
human number
with
1
the Hubble
million.
telescope, we're collecting light from other stars. The way that we detect exoplanets is by just detecting the variation in the amount of light a star produces when a planet passes in between the star and the telescope. If they're actually trying to study us and they're able to study us, they would just sit out like in the fucking orbit of Jupiter
Not even.
and look at the planet.
Probably way further away.
Oh yeah, they could very easily. Well,
But doesn't that make you think that maybe they did look at us and that just it's the same as
See,
like,
no,
another ant colony? Don't care.
no, I don't discount aliens having observed us at some point. If
Okay.
they came to Earth, we did not fucking see them. We did not see them unless they wanted us
But they've
to see
seen
'em.
us. There's probably a good chance they've seen us.
I don't know about a good chance. I think it's a possibility.
Okay, I'm cool.
But-
I'm good with that.
Aliens? No, nobody's ever seen an alien.
And they're not disguising themselves for fun, like the safari
why?
rides. Like the safari rides.
If there's
You go in the Jeep and the Jeep's painted like a Triceratops.
maybe if we're okay, so if life is very, very rare in the universe, it's like, okay, there's like 40, 50, 60 different species in the world, or not the world, the universe.
Yeah, there's dinosaurs on this
Let's even say
planet,
there's like
humans
there's like
on this one.
a 1,000 different
Kodiaks.
species in the universe, 2,000 different species. We're still
Who wouldn't want to see me?
no,
You-
they could see you, but
This is exciting.
we're not going to see them because they're National Geographic photographers. They're going to try to interfere as little as possible so they can see us in our natural state.
And if they're 2% different, then we would look at them like fucking lions look at us. We wouldn't even really realize what it is. It would just look like another thing to eat. I mean, we wouldn't even be able to comprehend that there's something else.
Yeah.
We're fucked.
Yeah. Oh, in the long run, we are for sure. I mean, eventually the sun's going to explode and
we'll be out of here by then.
wipe out
we'll
the
be
entire
an intergalactic
solar
species.
system. Elon Musk, you better make that fucking happen.
Yeah, dude. Come on, man.
I mean, I'll let him be a fucking shithead that's manipulating the stock market as long as he gets us off this fucking
If he makes money
planet.
off it, it'll just help his space program, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Come on, Elon. Get us into space. We need this.
I mean, fucking homeboy down the street living at the bus stop isn't going to get us off this fucking planet.
Oh, that was depressing. Yesterday, I was walking home and this guy was in the street trying to climb up on the curb, but his leg was all fucked up or something. He couldn't move his legs, but he was pissed and aggressive, so I didn't help him.
I'd be pissed too.
And he was like, "Fuck you," but like the kind where I'm like, "Oh, if I try to help him, he's gonna tell me to fuck off."
Yeah.
So I just walked past him, and he was like trying to lift himself up onto the sidewalk in the middle of the street. He's never getting us into space.
Nope. And also, that's just how nature works. We haven't surpassed animals yet. We're still fucking animals.
We're still fighting them.
We like to think that we're not animals anymore. We're still fucking animals.
True.
So
what do?
we just keep going. We keep surviving. Help out the people that matter to you in the circle around you. If you can help people outside of that circle, help them. The best thing that you can do to help anybody is to put yourself in a position where you're strong enough to help
yourself.
others.
Help yourself first, and then help others. Right.
I mean,
Help Elon Musk.
I honestly, well, he can help himself pretty well. I'm saying I wholeheartedly believe that if you want to help other people, put yourself in a strong position where you're able to help others.
If you can't help yourself, how are you going to help someone else? If you're not rich, how are you going to help anybody?
If you have two people that are drowning, they're just going to drag each other down. If you have one person in a boat and one person drowning, then hopefully the person in the boat isn't a fucking piece of shit.
Go over and help the guy drown.
And they'll pull that person out. But yeah, the first thing that you have to do is I mean, it seems kind of...
It's like a new thing we're going to start at the end of each episode. We have like a life lesson from Coop.
Yeah, I doubt it. But, I mean, maybe every
like
now and
the
then.
G.I. Joe thing? What did they call on the end of each G.I. Joe?
Knowing is half the battle.
Yeah.
And the other half is shit.
We should have one. I think we should come up with our own, like, tale of the tape or knowing is half the battle or some sort of, like, ending.
Okay, well, as I pour myself another shot of Fireball, unnamed cinnamon whiskey.
Mm-hmm. Will you pour me some of that in here?
My lesson for this episode is if you want to do any good for the world, you need to help yourself first, because if you're in a position of strength, that allows you to uplift other people. And if your own house is on fire, I mean, let's be realistic. You can't worry about your neighbor's house. Because if their house burns down, where are they going to stay? In your fucking burnt down piece of shit? Probably not. Be strong. That's the way that you can help people. Actually, really, what I'm getting at is mind your own fucking business.
Why can't it needs to relate to the topic? It needs can you give the metaphor?
Aliens don't care about us because we're a bunch of fucking selfish animals. If we could just get past this whole bullshit where we're fucking dividing ourselves by how we look or what we like to fuck. I mean, aside from children, don't fuck children. Like, seriously, don't fuck children.
I'm with you on that.
That's a message. That's a message for this episode.
That's the message for this.
If you want aliens to contact us, stop fucking children. You sick fucks. Cheers.
Cheers.
All right, that's it for this episode of the Iconoblast podcast. I got to get home and check on this shitty cat that I adopted off the street. If you want to follow us on Instagram, that is at Iconoblast Podcast. You can follow Joel at Joel R. Benner. You can follow me at Coop Nukem. Check out the Drinking Bros History channel on YouTube. That's the way that you can see the wild gesticulations that we're making on camera. Joel's very nice NASA hat. My nice plaid shirt that I'm wearing right now. Well, plaid or flannel? Well, I mean, it's made out of flannel, but it's a plaid pattern, I think. You can see my mustache. So, I mean, tune in to Drinking Bros History Channel on YouTube just to see my mustache. But anyway, that's it for this episode. Join us next week when we might be talking about, John McAfee, maybe...
No, we're doing John McAfee.
Okay, John McAfee.
John McAfee?
Yeah, we've promised so many topics in advance, and we usually...
Well, we got a special guest. It's been confirmed today.
Okay, so tentatively, we're doing John McAfee next week with a very special guest who has been on the show before. I don't want to hint at who it is, but I can say that it is our most downloaded episode, 2 most downloaded episodes.
Yep.
Hint, hint to people that have been following us already. Okay, so we're done for this week. We will catch you next week. Thank you to everybody that's in our YouTube premiere right now. We love all of you. I'm sorry that I missed some shout-outs last week, and anybody else that shows up to our premieres that I'm not aware of because I don't see you in the live chat. We love all of you. This has been the Iconoblast Podcast. My name is Matt Cooper.
I'm Joel Benner.
Reminding you to never take anything at face value.